Hi everyone, Luttrell here. Welcome back to the world of PowerPoint tutorials and cutting edge presentations. In Module 1 we talked about kind of the basic look and feel of the new user interface in PowerPoint 2007. In this module, Module 2, we're going to learn just a little bit more, the next level of it, of learning your way around the new PowerPoint interface. You can see my desktop there. I need to show you the first thing about PowerPoint, and that's starting a PowerPoint presentation for the new users in the group. You would start down here at your Windows icon, click that once, go to all programs, unless it's already populated in there in the most recently used programs. Sometimes you will see that. You can see up here I've used the Outlook and Internet Explorer and those things. You can actually set those settings, and we could talk about that if you want at a later time. But for now, go into the Office option, click that once, scroll down to PowerPoint and click that once. Now you can see that the grid lines option is showing up on my screen because I actually, the last time I had PowerPoint open, I had the grid lines option selected, and that's in your View tab, I believe it is. Yeah, show grid lines right here. Now that is a useful option which we could talk about later, or I could talk about it right now. If I had some pictures that I wanted to align specifically to a certain quadrant or sector of the slide, I could use this grid lines thing. And something else that needs to be noted is that the grid lines don't print if you were to print these slides, and if you were to go into presentation mode, they also don't show up then. It's just merely for the edit screen, which is where we're at right now, and actually placing things where you want them. So if you have a slide that's on the borderline of busy, then and you have graphics or something you need to align very specifically, using the grid lines option is kind of a neat way of getting that done, and that's something that's new to the interface. Now I want to rehash some parts from Module 1, the screen elements themselves. Now at the very top of the screen there is what's known as the title bar. This shows the program that's running and the name of the file, in this case presentation 1, just a generic name that's a default name that the program gives it until I retitle the thing. The ribbon right underneath there, which is populated by the tabs, which again, like I just said, we talked about that in Module 1. The Office button, the Quick Launch bar, and then to the very far right we have the Minimize and Maximize button. If I were to hit this button, it would go down to my status bar on the computer. Down here, clicking on that once would maximize it. This shrinks it, so if I need to make the screen smaller and get out of my way for whatever reason, I can do that, and then clicking that again maximizes it. The red X, of course, closes the program, which in this case could completely close the program, and if I had any work done, it didn't even prompt me to save anything. So here's the program I had from the first module. I'll just double click into that for the purposes of this module. There's nothing really we need to create too much yet, so I'm just still kind of showing you around the interface and trying to get you up to speed with what the terminology is and where things are. Now going back to the point I was trying to make, we've talked about this bar up here at the very top. It's called the title bar, the quick access toolbar, and the Office button. And to the right we have the Minimize and Maximize and the Exit button. Something I didn't show you was how to save in the first module. I showed you how to create one by right clicking on the desktop, and I also showed you how to do it from the Start menu. But to save, you actually would go to your Windows button and click the Save button, which will then come up with a submenu that will prompt you as to how you want to save it. Or you can skip right to the Save As option, and then you can select it wherever you want. If you want to save it as an 07 version, you would click this one. If you want to publish it to a show where it will play automatically when clicked, you could use the PowerPoint show option. And then they left the old version of saving in here as well, because some people don't have the new version of Office, so the people with the new version sometimes have to save it as an older version so that those people still using the older version can view the new stuff. So, because it's not backwards compatible. And you can see that you can also save it as a PDF or an XPS file, and there's some other formats like HTML and different things in there that if I click on that, it'll pull up a sub menu, and I can scroll this drop down arrow, and you can see there's a gazillion types of formats that you can save it as if you choose to do so. The only other thing we really need to talk about in this module, because I'm trying to keep each of these modules fairly short because I need to upload them to YouTube, and I want them to be kind of standalone. So anyway, is the center area here. That's called the content area. So that's where the actual slide is that takes on all the editing. So if I wanted to edit anything in here, like say I wanted to delete that one and this one, that's where I would do that. You can't edit from the left hand sidebar over here. So all the editing takes place on the slide here. And since I mentioned that, see there's actually a couple of different views here too. We're in normal view, where you would see your content area and then your slides to the left. And then if we go to slide sorter view, you can see your slides in sequence, and if you need to rearrange them for the purposes of streamlining your presentation, you would do that here and say, well, I need this slide needs to be at the end, and this one here is my introduction slide, and so on and so forth. So slide sorter view is commonly used for that, and then normal view is for your editing, and then the other option you have down here is the slideshow view itself, so which would actually start the presentation. And those slides don't have anything on them, but you see the point. That's how it actually goes into the presentation view. Okay, well, I think that's it for Module 2. So Module 3, I hope I see you then. We're going to actually talk about things to avoid in presentation design. If you haven't already, watch that video on the homepage of, I think his name's McMillan, and he pretty much does a comedic skit of what to avoid in PowerPoint presentations. Those are some of the things we'll talk about. See you then.